What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another How I Would Have Made It video, and today we're gonna be talking about how I would have made Spider-Man 3. This was requested by Ramesh Kumar. Now, before I start the video, I just want to say that I did not hate this movie. I did not love this movie either. I obviously I know there's faults with the movie and there are problems, but I can still watch the movie. It's no big deal. But it's kind of cool now that I get the opportunity to tell you how I would have made the movie. So, and I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it a little bit better. So let's get into this. So I'd start the movie off with everything kind of going well. At first, just like in the original. But then they go to that Mary Jane play, and Harry's there too, and this is when things get different. So I would have Harry being the one to go out and try to talk to Peter and be like, hey, can we be like friends like we were before, and can we get together for like a double date or something. And Peter's like, okay, sure, we need to talk again. We need to talk to each other. So they go to have this double date, and then they finally do get some guy time to talk about, the Spider-Man thing. And, because obviously Harry knows about him being Spider-Man. And he just wants to know, like, hey, like why do you do this? Like, what is your motivation, Peter? And he tells them they have a heart-to-heart about how, with great power comes great responsibility, and, about Uncle Ben and how he died and all that. So, and it's a great moment. I think it'd be a great scene. So, obviously, sooner or later the black suit tries, we have that scene where it follows him home. And then we get a scene where we find out that the guy who killed Uncle Ben is actually been released from prison. He's been released from prison. And Peter's not happy. He is mad. And Aunt May looks just as upset. And that night, the black suit gets on him. And he becomes black-suited Spider-Man. And he goes after him. And he bursts in the room only to find the guy who killed Uncle Ben is dead. He finds him bloody and murdered. And then his parole officer comes in and sees Spidey, and he's like, what? Spider-Man, what did you do? And then Spider-Man just leaves because he's like, what the hell happened? And then the news is having a field day. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man killed that guy, and the news is going crazy, and Jay Jonah's having a field day. He's like, Parker, I want photos. And and he's like, I want an interview too. And he's like, no, JJ, I'm not doing that. No, it's not happening. He did not kill him. And he's like, all right, fine. You're not going to do it? Meet Eddie Brock. And so Eddie Brock comes in, and he's all like a big dude, and he's, the actual Eddie Brock that we know him from the comics and the TV, some TV shows, not all. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And so Peter's like, okay, fine. He wants to have an interview. I'll give him an interview. So he has Spider-Man send him like a little note on his desk, like, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man or whatever. And meets him outside, and they talk about what happened, about how he just walked in and saw him dead, and like, he doesn't know what happened. And then Eddie's like, no way, you probably did it, didn't you? Like, that murderer, like, you really think that you just... And then then Spider-Man gets mad and just knocks his notebook and pen and paper out of his hand, and just so angry at him, like, and he just web slings away. And later, Eddie Brock writes about how he says that he really did do it and just completely lies. And so everyone hates Spider-Man now. The news hates him. The police are scared of him. Everyone's just upset. Everyone's scared and upset. So Spider-Man's like, okay, I gotta find the person who did this. So he goes around, he's fighting criminals. They're scared. They're terrified of Spider-Man because they really think he killed that guy. And with the black suit get up and everything's like, yeah, we think you're a little dark now, buddy. So he finds out as he's talking to a few thugs that oh no, it was Kingpin. It was Kingpin. Yes, Kingpin is in this movie, along with Alistair Smythe. I would have Kingpin and Alistair Smythe in this movie. Then the thugs are basically saying that it was Kingpin who had him released. So Spidey goes all the way up there and he meets Kingpin and they have a talk about it. And then all of a sudden, the Goblin bursts in. New Goblin, Hobgoblin bursts in, and then he's got a web sling after him. They're fighting in the sky, and they're just like, and then Harry's leading him back to his place, and gets off the glider and he walks inside, and then we get a little. I'm mirroring that scene a little bit from the original cut, and basically Harry tells him like, I'm the one who told Kingpin to let him out. Me. Obviously, Oscorp can't be associated with releasing common criminals. So, and that makes Spidey pissed. And he's just punching and breaking bones. And he's just really going at him. He's just losing it here. He cannot believe he let that murderer out just to mess with Peter's head. And he really hurts him. He really breaks bones. He's really brutal in this scene. And after he feels then sooner or later he comes to realize that I went too far. I almost did what everyone thinks I was about to do. And he just web slings away. And he goes to this church bell. And and then we have the scene where he's taking off the suit and Eddie's there too. And while this is happening, we see Harry just broken bones and shit, and he's just trying to hobble, he uses the Goblin formula to try to repair his body, but instead it turns him into an actual Hobgoblin, and now that just got a whole lot more interesting. So we're back to the church, gets the suit off, it's on Eddie now, he finds out who Peter Parker really is, and he's mad at him, and he's Venom now, and we get that awesome scene where he turns into Venom, because, come on, be honest, that was a great scene. Even if you didn't like Spider-Man 3, the scene where, he gets the suit on and he finally is Venom, and he just, has the teeth and everything, it's awesome, except obviously I'd have the tongue in there, because that's iconic. So, after that, he goes back home and gets his good old red and blue on, and he don't know what to do. He is completely upset. He does not know what to do. He does not know how to deal with the fact that no one likes Spider-Man anymore. Everyone thinks that he killed that guy, and now he just almost killed his best friend, and he's just losing it. He's calling MJ, and MJ's on her way there. So obviously we get the scene where Venom kidnaps her, and he's got to go fight Venom now. So he's fighting Venom, but then Harry swoops in and he's there too, and then he's got to fight both of them at the same time. So while he's fighting both of them at the same time, he's realizing that Venom is different. He's realizing that Venom is not like other villains he's fought before. He's much bigger, much stronger. This guy's tall, right? He's almost as tall as the Hulk. He's huge. That obviously CGI it. He's got the tongue and the teeth and the eyes. It just look awesome. He's much, much different. Finds out he's immune to his spider sense. It's not working. They're duking it out. Obviously, the news is seen that there's this black monster, so obviously JJ's gotta print a retraction. Have a funny scene like that where it's it's not Spidey. Oops. So yeah. So Spider-Man's realizing he can't fight Venom because he's too big, too strong, and his spider sense doesn't work. So he decides to use his spider sense as a way to fight Venom and Hobgoblin at the same time. So when Hobgoblin swoops in, Hobgoblin's behind him because he uses the same trick before. Spider sense goes off while Venom is jumping on him, and he jumps up. They hit each other. They're down. Hobgoblin's flying all over the place, crashes, and he's knocked out. And then it's just Spidey and Venom. They're duking it out. Spidey's a little ripped up. His suit's a little screwed up. And the whole city's just watching this fight. And they're getting some good punches in at each other, and they're really going at it. Venom's taunting him like, "Come on, come on, Spider-Man," and then he finally just lets the aggression out and just starts fighting Venom, punching him in the face, breaking everything. Like, he's just going in. And he eventually is able to take Venom down. And they are both sent off to jail, obviously, because I don't kill people in my movies. So, obviously, we get the scene where, he saves MJ again, and, they go home. But then we get a little tease that Kingpin finds out about Venom, and he finds out about Harry and what happened to him, and he's trying to buy his business and everything. And we get the little hints about the Sinister Six and stuff, so I try to tease that for the 4th and 5th and 6th movie. But yeah, guys, that's how I would do the movie. I don't know, like I said, I didn't really care about how I made this one. I just kind of, throw my ideas out there about how I would have done it a little differently. Again, I don't really hate this movie. I don't love it either, but, it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think about my ideas, and you like it, you don't like it, you hate it, you love it, let me know. And until then, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'm out of here. Up, and away. See you guys.